It's time for a Swingin Time special. Miss Florence Ballard, Miss Mary Wilson, Miss Diana Ross. From the world's #1 record company, the world's most exciting vocal group, the Sensational Supremes. That's wonderful. I think that was our opening salute to you. And I think 3 little girls recorded that once upon a time. Come see about me, and it's sure nice of you to come see about us. You know, today, you know what we're going to do for you today? What? We're going to let you sit back, we're going to let you relax, and we're going to work for you. Is that all right?
Oh, fine.
Because that's what is meant, is our salute to the Supremes. We have some surprises for you, too.
I want to work.
You want to work? All right. Well, we're gonna. You know who's dropping in on us to visit with you today and visit with us today? The wonderful Marvelettes.
Oh,
dropped in today, and of course Johnny Tillotson will be with us,
Fantastic.
and some more big surprises. One of our first big surprises coming up with the singing Sensational Supremes in a couple of minutes. So you just stay right there, okay? Yeah, isn't that right? Those roses are lovely.
And they're real, too.
You know, I know to say
Very, very glad you gave them to us.
they're real. This is a high-budget show. What do you mean? Is it real? You're darn right it's real. You know, you girls have probably answered 10,000 questions this week, haven't you? Have been asked?
Yes.
I know it's been an exciting week.
Tremendous.
And the first appearance, of course, at the Rooster Tail, and the first big appearance here in the city of Detroit.
Right.
Isn't that right?
We're happy to be home performing, too.
Oh,
It's
just
real for us.
wonderful having you with us. Well, I've always wondered, for example, here you are, here's Florence, and here's Mary, and here's Diana. Like, Mary, where did you girls meet, first of all? I mean, and become friends.
In the Brewster Projects.
Did you all live in the Brewster Project?
Yes, at one particular time we did.
Now, whereabouts in the city of Detroit is this, again, for the benefit of those that are not familiar with that area?
It's on the east side. It's very close to downtown, the downtown area.
Mm-hmm. Now, first, how old were you when you girls, like, met and got acquainted there at the Brewster Project?
Well, I was 15. Diana and Mary were 14.
About 3 years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. And that's it. There you met. What was that?
She said, look like it.
No.
And there you met. Is that right? Now, did you sing together at this time? Is that it, or?
Well,
We started singing together right from the beginning, but we didn't really start working or doing engagements in little record house and things until almost a year later,
I
because
see.
we rehearsed and things.
Do you happen to remember what the first song was that you ever sang together, that you ever learned to sing together?
That was it Twist and Shout and
the twist.
The
Twist?
And There Goes My Baby.
Right.
There's something on your
Something on
mind.
your
Right.
mind. Nighttime is the right time.
Those were our favorite songs at that time.
Those are things you never forget. Isn't that
That's right.
All 12 bar blues.
Right. The easiest.
Now you started to sing together. You said we're at hops and around for your friends and so forth.
School dances, record hops, and what else did we do? But just in the neighborhood things, parties.
Small little things.
Well, here you are, 3 gals. You sang in neighborhood things. You sang at hops. You were friends. You had fun together. You enjoyed singing together. How does it all happen then? Say from this beginning, where was it all started?
At Motown.
Right. How did this all happen?
Well, we met first a representative from Motown at a record hop, and I remember where it was, 14th and Marquette, at King Solomon. And he invited us or asked us to come down to audition. Well, we didn't come down at that time, but about a year later we came down and tried to audition. And he said, well, I don't know. Oh, Mr. Gordy, listen to us sing There Goes Your Baby. And then he said, well, it sounds all right. But he said, well, you have to...
Is that how he said it? Did he just say it sounds all right?
I can't remember his exact words.
He's a very quiet man anyway. You know.
Sometimes.
It was probably sensational. It was probably sensational, but he didn't want to let you know.
Well, at that time, he was, you know, even when we signed contracts, my mother said, who is that young boy? Because he had on a white Angora sweater, I remember, and just some sports slacks. Real sporty, and they didn't think that he was the owner of Motown. They thought maybe he was just some kid walking in on it.
Well, Sporty is going to honor you today, too, because he's going to be on the show.
Oh, is he?
Sure is.
Oh, nice.
You know, we remember first meeting you girls, of course, when you were on our show a couple of years ago and did When the Love Light Shines.
That's right.
Which was a great song and was my favorite, really, at that time.
Well, that was almost the beginning of
It
our...
was,
The
right.
highlights, yes.
Wouldn't it be nice to hear it again? Would you
I'd
like
like
to hear it
to.
again?
Yeah.
The Pains of Love Light Shines. There you go. Listen. You know, this is your salute, and this is your show, but Diana mentioned, you know, that this brings back memories. It does for me, because we had just started our television show here at that time.
Much, I remember.
You know? And like it was trick or treat.
You know, I was watching the kids dance. I remember when we used to go to the record hops and things, and just dance like mad. You know, it's fantastic.
Florence was just saying,
We lose, we
a lot
missing
of,
all that
Good
exercise.
exercise.
That's why you're picking up all this weight.
Well, I tell you, after the show tonight, you just get out on the floor a little bit, you know, do the Boston Monkey and stuff like
Oh, I'd
that.
love to learn how to do that.
I can't do it.
He does it very well, too.
Very well.
Very good. This gang, see, they're performing for us today. They're working for us today.
Thank you.
Following the Supremes with our guests and our salute to our three lovely ladies from Detroit, of course, one of their big hits coming up again, and many surprises, so you just be sure to stay right there.
Introducing the Sloppy Joe, a brand new dance. From Libby's, the people who make Sloppy Joes. Just heat and eat. And swing to the beat. Nothing like it anywhere. Get beef or pork. What do kids think of it?
Man, it's the sloppiest.
Girls that have come home to Detroit. Girls from Detroit, girls that travel so many places. What are some places?
Florida, Boston,
Copacabana.
Copenhagen.
Well, we went on a tour of all the southern states. California. Oh,
Of course, last Monday night we came to Detroit, to Rooster Tail, and were welcomed with open arms as you were at the Copacabana just a number of months ago. And it was really something. It was so great to see, you know, what impressed me, I think, more than anything, and I say this to you, we've known each other for a long time, the fact that so many people that were there had never ever seen you before. And you could feel it in the room at the outset. It was a very silent, quiet feeling at the beginning of the show. And as it went on, they began to realize, really, how tremendously young
Well,
are.
when my sister had never seen me perform, and the only singing that I had ever done was when we were younger, and they were with my mother. And she said, I have no idea that you were like professional. She said, you girls are professional. She made me feel so, really, it was really sweet. They're so proud of my family, and I'm sure all of them.
Well, they should. As I said, in a couple of minutes, I have a big surprise for you. I hope it's a surprise for you. But you know, from When the Love Light Shines, we then found another little song with, right? It's something that started with, remember that one? Let's all get with it now. Saluting the Supremes and Baby Love. All right?
Don't throw our love away. Don't throw our love
I got so many notes here because there's so much I want to remember. I told you we had surprises for you, huh? Right?
I like the surprise.
You like surprise? You like it? You like? All right, fine. Instead of just talking about it, we're going to spring a couple on you, okay? Because this is your life, Florence, Mary, and Diana. And first, I would like you to meet again Mrs. Ruth Coles, teacher from 7th grade, Bishop School. Ruth? And along with Ruth on our show today, we would like you to meet Mr. Carl Erickson, who is the principal at Bishop School. Mr. Erickson? And also, we would like you to meet Dr. Woodrow Lamb, who is the former principal of Bishop School and now principal of Houston School. That's him. That's him. Dr. Lamb, how do you do, sir? Well, I'll tell you something. He just brought the report card with him, girls. He just brought the report card.
Oh, no, please.
And I want you to know, you didn't make it. Well, Ms. Coles, you were telling us earlier, before the show, about the two girls you had in your class, right? Mary and Florence. Is that correct?
That's right.
What kind of girls were they now? Did they give you much trouble?
No, they were fine girls, well-mannered,
Uh-huh.
good home training, reflective, and good students. And good students.
And
I
Dr.
don't think they ever had any trouble.
See, we want to make sure that isn't what you told me. That is what you told me before. No, I'm just kidding. You said they were.
Florence.
You said they were. Florence is very flighty and energetic.
Yes.
Was I? She said, certainly you were.
Oh, Florence liked to sing, and every time we'd have a program, Florence wanted to sing. And the children said, "Oh, sit down, Florence. You can't sing." Well, Florence can sing.
Right. Doctor, you were the principal then when the girls were in the school, is that right?
Yes, and I remember two of them very well. But if you were so good at singing, Florence, how come one time you got a U in vocal music?
You're kidding!
Oh, come on.
Diana, did you know that? Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I'm as thrilled as they are to see their teachers, but my teachers aren't here.
I'm sorry.
That's
We
all
didn't-
right.
we didn't
I didn't
forget
even have
you.
a music teacher.
We didn't forget. I was just going to say, about Florence failing in music. Though. It was just one time, though, wasn't it? Just one time?
Look, I've never failed in music.
It was just a misunderstanding.
It was a misunderstanding.
Maybe the teacher couldn't write correctly.
Anyway, it's too late to replace you, so that's perfectly right. Now, you had the girls in school starting when? What grade was it now, Doctor?
Well, I arrived, and I think it was the last year of their attendance there. Should I give the year?
Well, why not?
1957?
Say Laguerre.
Weren't you there?
Well, no. I was at a neighboring school. I didn't know you then.
Now, Bishop School is around where? What part of town now, again?
Well,
Is that near?
Very close to the Eastern Market area. And right now it's adjacent to the new Chrysler Expressway. But we drew from a great distance there, not only west of us, south of us, north of us, east of us. And I think these girls were west of us.
And Mr. Erickson, you now are principal at Bishop School.
I'm principal now at the Bishop School.
What's the reaction over there, all the students, knowing that the Supremes, two of the gals, Mary and Florence, were there?
Yes, well, they think there's no group like the Supreme, and they all want to be singers.
So you're going to have more trouble, see? More Florences are going to come along, see? Well, Diana, about you, what school did you go to now? You see, up until today, I always thought that three of you met at Bishop, that you all went to Bishop School.
No. I went to Balch Elementary School to the 6th grade, and I had a principal, Mr. Bourne. And my only music teacher that I remember so well was Mrs. Villas. I don't even know if she's still with us today.
What high school did you go to then?
I went to Cass Technical High School.
And Mary?
Northeastern.
Northeastern. We're going to try to find that picture. We do have Florence's graduation picture. We found that.
Yeah.
Really. But I know it's a thrill to all of you, to Miss Cole and Mr. Erickson and Dr. Lamb, as thrilled as we all are here, and everyone around, that these gals are the Supremes, and that we do know them, and that they are from Detroit. And it's a great example, isn't it?
I'm glad you commented on the great example. It seems to me, girls, not only are you justly proud of yourselves as you should be, and helping out yourselves and your folks, but that example idea is one of the greatest for the others. Not that everyone can become a singer, but that they can look up and say, these youngsters made it, they're doing a great job, and now they're turning around and acting as an inspiration to raise, we might say, the aspirational levels of some of our youngsters. I think they're doing a good job.
I told you we were going to perform for you today, and that we are. And we have three lovely girls, three more lovely girls that want to salute you. So we would like very much for Linda and Norma and Mary to come on stage. But let's give them a nice hand, shall we? All right. We'll let you girls get all set. Because they wanted to sing a salute to the Supremes. And what would you like to sing? Where did our love go? Girls, you're the new Supremes. Salute to the Supremes. What's that?
The Marvelettes were here.
Yeah, the Marvelettes, yeah. That's right. Would you like to hear them? Yes. Would you like to hear?
Postman.
Huh? Would you like to hear the Marvelettes? All right. A salute to the Supremes, the Marvelettes. Marvelettes, saluting our Supremes. Have you ever seen these girls before? And of course, Mr. Erickson, Miss Coles, and Dr. Lamb. Girls, it's wonderful. And you know something? You know something? I think that Don't Mess with Bill this year is just going to start a great year, a continued great year, but even greater than ever before for the Marvelettes. Don't you think so? While you're on Swingin Time, we'll be back in just 2. Okay?
The Monkees, brought to you by Kellogg.
K-E-double-L-O double good. Kellogg's best to you.
We're going to bring Barry up. We want to leave some room right now because we'd like you to meet a gentleman you all know, Mr. Barry Gordy, president of Motown. Barry, come right on up here and meet everybody. Plug it up. There he is, the young man. Barry, it's a pleasure having you with us. This is Mrs. Coles, Mr. Erickson, and Dr. Lamb. Barry Gordy. Well, Barry, I know you're as proud of the gals as everybody in Detroit, and probably even more so. Do you remember the first day that these 3 beautiful girls walked into your office and said, "We want to sing for you"?
Well, first of all, they weren't beautiful.
Get you up to the show.
But at any rate, they were wonderful. They were always wonderful. They were a little on the skinny side, but they were wonderful girls. That's it.
That was Florence's problem when she was younger, is that right?
What?
You were a skinny kid.
I was more, much smaller than I am now.
We love you the way you are. Is that right? We love you all the way you are. You know, we were mentioning earlier, Barry, when you stop to think of girls' vocal groups, I mean, that reached the heights of stardom, I mean, really up there, and appeared on big shows and big clubs, I can only think of 3. I might be wrong, but I can only think of the Andrews sisters, I can only think of the McGuire sisters, and I can think of the Supremes. I mean, those that have reached the heights and have had big records, appeared at big clubs and did big shows, really, which is another great tribute to you, the girls, and Motown.
Yes, it's certainly a tribute to Motown, as I always like to express when I'm under pressure, with an unrehearsed show.
We thought we'd keep it like this, very extemporaneous, so then you can really say what you
Very
feel.
wonderful. It's only a problem with me because I've constantly criticized the girls, and now they've become tremendously relaxed and wonderful, and I'm sure that they will have some comments to make about my performance here today.
I mean, you brought a very interesting film. You took up the gals, where was this, in Paris?
Yes, it was. It was it's a film as they were walking or running down this street in Paris. Was it the
Champs-Élysées?
And of course, the film is sort of unique in that it was cut short. It was never really completed because I think they were all almost thrown in jail. And
let's watch the film and find out if they really were thrown in jail.
Okay.
Would you like to do that? Here now, the Supremes running down the Champs-Élysées. Let's go.
how about that?
That's it. I see what you mean, Mary, about it being cut there. The police part? So that's where the film ended, didn't it? It ended right there.
The police,
Yeah.
tried to hit me and grabbed
Well, there it is. There. Wait a minute. The gendarme. Oh, you got to be kidding. We almost started an international scandal, I'll tell you. The Supremes in Paris, the Supremes were saluting today on Television 9 with many guests, and here are now three lovely girls, Kathy, Lena, and Gail. Their salute to the Supremes' latest hit, My World is Empty Without You. Let's give them a nice welcome, shall we? Our salute to the Supremes, saluting you, our good friend Johnny Tillotson.
Hi, girl.
How you doing, John?
I'm fine. And I tell you, I had the pleasure of working with the girls for about, I guess almost 3 weeks on a tour. And I always knew that they sang beautifully, but I never realized they were so brave. I couldn't believe that in Paris.
Really? Isn't it? That's
Did you
wonderful.
notice how brave they
We
were
just
and stepped
received
in
a
front of that little
telegram.
car?
We just received the gendarmes are outside, waiting for you. And Barry's going to take care of the whole thing. John, how would you like to sing for the Supremes tonight?
I'd be more than delighted to do it.
Everybody? Yeah. Let's get all set.
Thank you.
Johnny Tillotson to entertain on our salute to the Swingin Supremes on Television 9. Johnny, and I know you'll remember this one. Here it is. Woo! Johnny Tillotson, just wonderful. That's great. I salute the Supremes, and if you've just tuned in, shame on you. This is Florence, Mary, and Diana, breaking all records here in town at the Rooster Tail, and right now, one of the big surprises for you, and one of the high points of our show, we'd like to announce the Honorable Dr. Nicholas Hood, Councilman, Detroit City Council. Thank you. Nice meeting you, sir. Diana, Paul, Mary, and our guests. And I know there was something you had very, very special for our lovely ladies today.
I have a proclamation here from the city of Detroit that I would like to read in tribute to the Supremes. Whereas never before in the history of popular music has a group of singers from Detroit made such a profound and widespread impression on the music-loving public of this nation as the Supremes. And whereas by their pleasant personalities, their singing ability, and their industrious attitude toward their craft, they have reflected credit throughout the nation on Detroit. And whereas by their adherence to high moral standards, they have set an example for teenagers of Detroit and other cities to follow, be it therefore resolved that the city of Detroit express its pride in Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson, and Diana Ross, the Supremes, with this tribute presented by the Detroit Common Council this 22nd day of January, 1966.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. There you are, girls. That's wonderful.